Megan, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, welcome. Today I'm going to be talking about life with cerebral palsy. Since it is March, Cerebral Palsy Awareness Month, I know it's almost over, and in a week, I won't have CP anymore because it will be April. Just kidding. Honestly, that is actually the first thing I want to talk about, Awareness Month. Well, I think it is, very wonderful that we have Awareness Month. I also think it's important to realize, I have cerebral palsy every day. Even when it turns April 1st, I still have cerebral palsy. And it's important to spread awareness all year round, not just in March. So I feel like that's one thing where, it's good to have, a awareness color, like green. And, a month, I still feel like it's important to realize, spreading awareness all year round is so important because people who have cerebral palsy, we live it every day. Also, I want to talk about some misconceptions of cerebral palsy. The one that annoys me the most, I definitely have talked about this in videos, and I just feel like I'm gonna talk about it. Of course, society's changed. Of course, I don't have anyone. Well, that would actually be impossible because there's always going to be ignorant people, but of course this doesn't happen as much. I'm gonna talk about it. And that is people assuming that because you have CP, because you live with cerebral palsy, you must have an intellectual disability as well. And I'm just here to say no, 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 no. How many times can I say no? No. Yes, some people with cerebral palsy do have intellectual disabilities, but you shouldn't assume that. If you meet someone with CP, you should not assume that. And even so, even those who do have intellectual disabilities and have cerebral palsy, they're still a human being. They're still a person, and you should be treating them with respect, and you shouldn't be treating them like they're not a person. That's just rude and just, not okay. Please be better. That's just so not okay. And the way I have gone treated throughout my life has been not okay at times, and people just assuming, I don't understand. It's just no. And I felt like for so long I had to prove myself and had to prove I am smart. And for a while I actually didn't even think that, and if you have been around, you know that. But now I know how smart I am, and I know that intelligence is not there's more. I think people think intelligence and they're oh my god, you're a genius at everything, you're good at everything, you're good at science, math, history, English. I guess no. Everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. Some people are amazing at science, but they're not as good at English, or some people are amazing at English, but they're not as good at math, and that's just life, and that's normal. But then there are those people who are literally geniuses and are good at everything, or pretty much everything, and I know some of those people, but it's normal to have strengths and weaknesses, and I think it's just not okay to just assume things, and it just does not make any sense. I guess you know what, the people who know me, who truly knows me, they know how smart I am. They know I am a math genius, but I also suck at spelling. And being off at spelling does not mean I'm not smart, People are smart in different ways. And that is important to remember. And I feel sometimes when people do assume I'm not smart and they make assumptions, sometimes, and I feel the next time this happens, I am going to just, block out some calculus.
Do you know the derivative of sine times cosine? I bet you don't.
But the same thing, if you don't know calculus, that does not mean you're not smart, It's just so messed up how people just like assume things. Just like if you're bad at math, that does not mean you're not smart. Like everyone has strengths and weaknesses. Some people are better at certain things, and you should not assume. I feel like one of the things that needs to be worked on like the most is accessibility. That is a big one. I guess for me is like one of the biggest challenges right now, and I have talked about this like recently on my channel, and that is transportation. Access to transportation, like that is a big one, and just like, you know, services to help you, like help me, help, you know, disabled people, like there needs to be better like services and just people to be honest with you, who want to do their jobs and are passionate about their jobs and helping people, because that is something that been a challenge for me, is getting people who don't really care. So yeah, transportation is one of the biggest struggles, and the thing is like the reason I can't drive is not because of my cerebral palsy. Like honestly, if I only had cerebral palsy and didn't have epilepsy and, you know, hemianopsia, you know, my vision, I would probably be able to drive. I would probably be able to drive, guess with, you know, accommodations in the cars and adaptive things. Anyway, I would be able to drive. So I guess like one of those things, and it goes back actually to something else I want to talk about, and that is the cause of cerebral palsy. And I feel like one of the things people think of in terms of like cerebral palsy and what causes it is, you know, at birth and like lack of oxygen to the brain. And I feel like it's important to also remember that like there's more things that can cause cerebral palsy than, you know, at birth and, you know, lack of oxygen to the brain. Things can happen before birth and even like shortly after birth, you know, as well as during birth. And for me, it was before birth. I had a stroke, and that is why, you know, I got diagnosed with cerebral palsy. And, you know, having that stroke gives me other challenges besides cerebral palsy, and having, you know, other things and cerebral palsy. Yeah, it's definitely a struggle at times, but I feel like it's also important to know that, like, at least for me, of course I'm only speaking for myself because I'm one person, so remember that, but like I really don't think of my disabilities like that often. Like mostly when I think of my disabilities is when I am frustrated at something, like if I can't do something like with one hand, or it's taking me forever, or it's when like I'm reminded by like society or like people who are just like so ignorant that like it drives me nuts. Those are the times. But like everyday life, when I'm just living my life and doing the things I do every day, I really don't think about it because that's just my life and this is all I ever known. And I feel like if I did, that would not be good for my mental health. If I talk about it constantly. So I think I'm gonna end the video here. I hope you enjoy it, and definitely if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel so you can follow my journey. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you in my next video very soon. Bye.